Santa Barbara is more than a city, it's a lifestyle. Let's go check it out.
Okay, welcome to Lifestyles of Santa Barbara. This is a remote podcast. This is my first one. I thought it would be pretty cool to jump in, do different things. As we know, this is a work in progress. And this podcast is designed, hopefully it was conceived to bring awareness to what's going on in Santa Barbara. Bring awareness to the people that are out there making a difference for other people. You know, it has nothing to do with our business. We're all successful in our own way. But this podcast in particular caught my attention, and we've done it in 2 stages. We're going to be featuring Sanctuary Centers of Santa Barbara. And it's my honor to introduce 3 people on this podcast. And this is the first time I've ever had 3 people. It's usually just one. So I'm going to introduce Lori Ban West, is the development director of Sanctuary Centers. Is that right, Lori?
Yeah,
Lola.
That's okay,
I'm
no
sorry.
problem.
I apologize.
I'm Lola Van West, and I'm the Director of Marketing and Development here at Sanctuary Centers.
And Mr. Barry, and tell me if I'm saying this incorrectly. Schoer?
Shore like the seashore.
That's a beautiful name. And Joe, our very own Santa Barbara, homegrown Joe Parker. Joe is a board member of Sanctuary Centers, correct?
That's right, Guy. Good to see you.
It's good to see all 3 of you. Let's start with the top of the food chain here, Barry Schoer. You've been part of this. You actually created this, 48 years ago? How long ago?
I actually didn't create it. I'd like to take credit for that, but Sanctuary Centers, which was known as Sanctuary House, was founded in 1976 by a group of community-based volunteers and one rebellious psychiatrist who were looking for an alternative to hospitalization for adults with serious mental illness. I had the privilege and opportunity to join Sanctuary as the CEO in 1982. It is a gift that has kept on giving to my heart all of these 42 plus years. There is no greater joy and honor than helping people get well.
Okay, let's get right to the bones of it, because Sanctuary House provides 24-hour residential mental health care services. That's huge. That is huge. And, you know, it's very near and dear to a lot of people's heart. I know that for a fact. But this Sanctuary House was originally built in 1902. It's your mission that really caught my attention. You guys, and what you're building over there on Anapamu Street.
Yes.
Anybody in Santa Barbara, we had the great privilege of taking a tour with Lola Ban West and Joe Parker for that site. And let me tell you something, the vision is incredible. Your guys' vision is just incredible, but more so what you're doing there, what is going to be, what is going to be housed there is even more incredible for adults with mental illness as they learn to live independently. You know, you don't see that here in Santa Barbara. I've never seen it. That's why it caught my attention. So Lola, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you feel about being involved with that, and how rewarding it must be. You're already in existence with one house right next door from the place that you're building. to this one and what this thing's going to evolve into. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. As Barry mentioned, nearly 50 years ago, we started just as one residential facility, a residential house for individuals who are living with a serious mental illness. And part of Barry's 42-year legacy is that he has expanded our services exponentially. Currently, we have 2 apartment units that y'all were able to sort of take a look at. They're right next to our new building project, the Arlington Apartments and the Hollister Apartments, an outpatient facility and sanctuary house, which we maintain in another location in Santa Barbara. And so this new building is going to bring 34 units of housing. 10 of those units will provide supported independent living with 24/7 access to mental health care. The building will also include a full floor of behavioral health services. That's that first floor that you're looking at. And an integrated health clinic that offers primary medical care, psychiatry, therapy, and comprehensive services for residents of the building, but also for the greater community at large. So
That
yeah.
caught my attention. I'm sorry to interrupt here, but that really caught my attention. You guys are going to have your own little emergency room there for am I right on that? It's not a full-on emergency room per se, but it's where somebody can go and actually get some attention if they got hurt. I mean, this is a self-sustaining building, right? For care.
Right. So it's not going to be an emergency room, but it is going to provide primary medical care and treat, small wounds and individuals' medical needs. And it's located right in the heart of downtown Santa Barbara. So folks will be able to walk in or make an appointment and be connected to a full bevy of services, including mental health services like psychiatry, therapy, group therapy. And really, it'll be a place that supports individuals of all ages, children and youth, all the way up to adults. And we're fortunate to be located right next to Garden Court, which provides housing for some of Santa Barbara's senior residents who are low income. And so they'll be utilizing our integrated health clinic as well.
So the Garden Court, is that also you guys, that is part of Sanctuary Centers, and is that for just the elderly, or is that mental health as well?
Garden Court is owned and operated by the Housing Authority of the City of Santa Barbara. It provides low-income housing to seniors. About 50% of them have substance abuse or mental health issues, so we've been providing services to them for years. They have a second location now called Gardens on Hope, and they are the only low-income senior housing complexes in Santa Barbara. They do a fabulous job. What we used to have our integrated health clinic on that property, where the building is going up, and we helped Garden Court go from 13 emergency room visits, ambulance calls a month to 3. Our integrated health clinic is temporarily located on Mitchell Terena Street, but once the building is complete, the integrated health clinic in the basement will be open 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we averaged before about 1,200 patient visits a month, about a third of those being our client population, Garden Court's client population, the remainder being homeless folks coming in off the street. Santa Barbara PD knows to bring them to us when they need medical care or psychiatric care or substance abuse assistance. And this will extend that relationship by partnering with this Cottage Hospital Emergency Department to triage folks in the emergency department, determine who really doesn't need to be there, that their physical health needs are lower on the scale of severity, but they really need a home to get their current and future medical care as well as mental health care. And they will transfer from the emergency department to us, creating that home for them, but also reducing some of the overcrowding in the emergency department.
You're actually alleviating some of the stress on our overall needs of it's I'm missing it here, but you are helping our community. You're alleviating some of that, on the
Right.
yeah. So and
We're building some capacity within in the emergency infrastructure. The bigger piece that we harp on is that the mentally ill die 25 years younger than the rest of us. And people would say, oh, well, that must be from their mental illness or their substance abuse. They actually die from undiagnosed, untreated heart disease, diabetes, cancers. And if they happen to be using methamphetamine and they've lost their teeth, then they die from malnutrition. So the reason we started an integrated health clinic 9 years ago was to change that cycle so that just because you have a mental illness or a substance abuse doesn't mean you shouldn't live as long as the rest of us. So this provides that home where we treat the whole person. We like to say we reconnect the head to the body, and we make sure that everyone on the street, in the bushes, or in our facilities or garden court gets the care they need.
so that's an evolution of the vision that originally came to sanctuary centers. How did that come about? Was that a board member? Was that a board decision? Joe Parker, you're on the board. How long have you been on the board there? And how are you actively involved in the sanctuary centers? I know why you're involved, but how are you involved?
Well, I've been on the board for 2 months, so I'm relatively new to the organization from the board level. But it's a place that I've been aware of for a little bit of time. If you're fortunate enough to not have mental health or thought disorders or mood disorders impact your life or your family members, then you probably have no clue that sanctuary centers exist in Santa Barbara and how prolific of an institution it is in the mental health world, in our little town. And if you have had those situations impact your family or your life, then you may know about it, or you still may not know that we have this incredible 10,000-pound gorilla in the industry of helping people with mental illness right here in Santa Barbara. And we all see it every day. We see this building going up, but a lot of people don't understand how impactful that's going to be for the world of mental health and thought disorders. And we're curating it right here in Santa Barbara. And we want to get this community to understand that there's big problems in society around homelessness, around mental illness and thought disorders, mood disorders, all these things. And they're so challenging, they're so complex that no one's cracked the code to fix them. But if anyone's going to crack the code, it's an organization like Sanctuary Centers. They're creating something that's going to put these people in a bubble of love and care to help prevent these one-off little instances which spins someone out of control and gets them out of that environment of containing their illness and keeping them healthy. It takes one instance, some blow up that doesn't get caught, and they spin off. And next thing you know, 6 months later, they're on the streets of our city and we're complaining about homelessness, right? So we have a solution right here in Santa Barbara to help alleviate this big societal problem. And Sanctuary Centers is rolling up their sleeves and tackling this problem that's so complex that it's almost, it just paralyzes you with complexity to try and solve the problem. But they're not paralyzed. They're actually working on it.
Lola.
Guy,
Yes.
I'm sorry, to answer your question of how we got here, there are a lot of nonprofits in our community that look at problems and turn to the county or the city and say, you need to fix these. If you give us a grant, we'll help you do it, but you need to fix it. It's your responsibility. It's the government's responsibility. Our philosophy has always been, look at what the community's need is and try to solve it. And if we figure out a way to solve it, sure, we'll ask the county or the city or the state to partner with us, as well as community donors and foundations. But we take the lead at doing that. So when we just had Sanctuary House and clients would come and get stabilized in our inpatient treatment program, and we would say, it's time, you're graduating now, congratulations, good luck. We would, in most cases, help them get a Section 8 voucher. And then they went out, and what did we discover? Nobody wanted to rent to them. nobody, and you know how little rental availability we have, but nobody would rent to them with their voucher. So we said, okay, we have to get into the housing business. We didn't want to be in the housing business, but we said we needed to. Then we saw they moved into housing, but they still needed supports. So we said we've got to get into the outpatient business and provide supports after they've graduated and are living independently. Then we saw we've got to help them contribute back to our wonderful community. So we're going to start career development. We're going to get them involved in either jobs, school, vocational training, or part-time volunteer positions. And we're going to help them give back. And by way of giving back, we build their community, we build their friendships and relationships, and we build their self-esteem. And then we got hit in the head with seeing some of our clients dying or needing liver transplants that we found out they didn't need, but because their health care was neglected. They would go to the community medical providers or dental providers and they were told, oh, that's in your head, go talk to your psychiatrist, or that's just from your illness, and neglected the physical health needs. So we said, we've got to integrate healthcare. We've got to take in healthcare, both medical and dental, and we've got to provide it in a safe, supported environment where even if necessary, a therapist goes into the doctor appointment or holds their hand in the dental chair so they feel like I can get my physical health taken care of. So each one of those steps continues when we see the need in the community and we say we've got to address that need. And this building is a grander scale of doing the same thing, adding the 34 more units, adding an integrated health clinic that's open 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, helping as a byproduct alleviate some of the overcrowding in the emergency department, expanding our services. But as I say over and over again, it's a drop in the bucket. We've got in the South County, we've got 1,000 homeless folks, 80% of them with mental illness or substance abuse. We've got veterans on the street going back to the Vietnam War, and we have to do more of this. So the biggest thing we hope, besides getting 34 more people off the street, getting people out of the emergency department and giving them the care they need, is being a model for replication. We want people to see not just our 10-story crane, not just our tallest building since 1946, which has fantastic views that low-income folks will be having, and they deserve it. Why don't they deserve it? Everyone deserves to have a place they live that makes them feel good when they wake up in the morning and they go to bed at night. But we want the community to look at beyond the crane, beyond the height of the building, and say, we've got to do more of this.
You know, Barry, this is something that just didn't, a light bulb didn't just go off one night for somebody. This has been an accumulation of time, watching what's going on within your organization, people collaborating, going, we can do this. So Lola, how did that come about? And how long have you been with Sanctuary Centers, and how are you promoting this?
Yeah,
And I'm
thanks.
talking about the vision. I'm not talking about the name or anything like that. I'm talking about the vision, the passion that Barry just laid out for us.
No, great question. I have had the privilege of working with Sanctuary Centers for just over 2.5 years. So a relatively short time in the grand scheme of things. I know that the vision for this particular unit, this complex that we're building, is over 10 years in the making, a decade in the making. And as Barry mentioned, I think that a lot of what you see now came from the extraordinary team that he has put together, of clinicians and staff who are consistently assessing the needs of our community, looking for those gaps in services and getting really creative to determine ways to try to fill those gaps. And right now I'm working on a timeline project in celebration of our 50th anniversary. And I'll say that I had the privilege of going to the Santa Barbara Library and reading articles about sanctuary centers past. And our past is not all roses. Essentially, like, we had some really challenging times in our history where funding was cut. And and our program almost closed down. Actually, shortly before Barry joined 42 years ago, Sanctuary House virtually disappeared, but the group of passionate individuals that were working for our organization at that time and the group of passionate individuals that are currently working for our organization have one thing in common, and that's an ability to come together, raise funds, write grants, encourage our community to support us so that we can build massive buildings, and not just massive buildings, but hope, and provide individuals who are living with mental illness the dignity that Barry was talking about. A 5-story view in Santa Barbara should be theirs. So
Santa Barbara is a very giving place,
yeah.
very giving community. We know that for a fact. But this is such a huge endeavor, and I can see where any cause has its problems along the way. We know that. We've seen it. We've lived it. But this one is so specific and so big that you've got to have some real admirers. You got to have some real supporters behind you, not only on a grant basis or whatnot, but you have to have some individual people that are just huge believers and have been affected. Am I safe to say that all the way around, Barry?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of families we helped 20, 30, 40 years ago who have stepped up to the plate. This new building is $30 million. When we first started designing it, it was $6 million. And by the time it got to 30 and we could add that 5th floor, I thought, oh my God. And some of my colleagues on the staff said, just do a 2-story building, do a 3-story building. I couldn't do that. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity on an infill project to get the most housing and the most services we possibly could. And about 15 million of it, we're very fortunate with state and county and federal grants that came about. And then about another 9 million is donations, private donations. Now we're turning to the foundations in this community. We saved them for last. We said, look, we're going to show you how much money we can raise. We don't need you to give us the seed money. We need you to give us the last $3.5 million to finish this project. So we're hoping the foundations will step up. We're also at the phase of naming opportunities. You can name everything in that building, from the building itself to counseling rooms, to apartments, to the community center, everything there. So it's a lot of long-term supporters, and it's a lot of new supporters who've come along. And it's supporters that have come and taken a tour and said, wow, I want to help, because that visuals is the best selling point we've got.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it works. It's impressive. It moves you, just going through. Thank you, Lola, for taking us on that tour. I know Michael Kramer, our producer here, was very impressed. I was impressed. And I can't wait to see it finished. And this is Santa Barbara. I don't think you're going to have a problem, meeting that last $5 million for completion. I really don't. And I'm sure that those that want to get involved will. Those that, if it's, that this type of mental illness, this type of treatment, that see your vision, will get involved. Santa Barbara's raised a ton of money. They've raised for some great causes. And you said it yourself, grants, local investment. We just wish you the best on this. So if somebody wanted to, are you guys planning on any fundraisers coming up? 'Tis the season here pretty soon, right? Some major fundraisers. I know that one of our favorites, Angels, is having one. They're going on. This is becoming the season, after the fall here, during the fall. Are you planning on anything that people can get involved with, that you want to share, that you want to break out, Lola?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, our big fundraiser is happening September 26th, 2026 at Fest Parker Winery in celebration of our 50th anniversary and the opening of our new building. This year, we're actually focusing a lot on smaller events that are being held within the community. You can visit our website, sanctuarycenters.org, to learn more about those events. But what we're really encouraging our community to do is schedule a tour. Come out, see the new building project for yourself, walk the grounds, explore what we are building here, and learn more about our vision for Santa Barbara and the community here. And then explore a naming opportunity. If it's right for you and your family, and you are looking for ways to leave a lasting legacy, naming opportunities fit the bill perfectly. And like Barry said, you can name just about anything in our new building project. And we'd love to take you for a tour. So reach out.
And I would encourage anybody watching this podcast to go on a tour of that beautiful building as is and what's coming, what's yet to be, because I'll tell you what, it's impressive. And you know that just walking through it, everybody there from your foreman, the job site foreman, to all the workers, to everybody, it's like a feel good mission walking through that thing, right? Even the lady with the elevator going up and down, when I asked her, hey, can I run the elevator? Yeah, sure, go ahead. I didn't, obviously, for insurance reasons. And something would have went wrong, I'm sure of it. But it's a great feel good tour. They need to come out and see it. Um, Tell us again, Lola, how do people get in touch with you? Sanctuarycenters.org. Is that it?
Yeah, visit our website, sanctuarycenters.org, or send an email to development@sanctuarycenters.org. And we would be happy to schedule a tour with you. Um, we have this really unique opportunity to build something extraordinary, a place where housing and healthcare and hope are coming together. And we are so excited to share this vision with you. And this vision is about to become a reality. Our doors are opening in 2026. So now's the time to book a tour.
Well, and I'll add to that, Guy, because I like to do things a little bit out of the norm. If you want to take the tour, my cell phone is 805-680-6067. I would love to take you on a tour Monday through Sunday. You name the time and the date, and I'll be there with the red carpet, and we'd love to take you on a tour. And possibly for the right size donation, I'll even change my name.
Oh, that's good stuff. And everybody, Joe Parker's a staple of our community. Listen to the name Joe Parker. He will definitely get you in touch with Barry and Lola. I really appreciate you guys coming on. You got a great vision here. I wish you all the success. You've got, what you're doing is it's just the best for humanity. It's a great cause for our community. Barry, hope to get to know you better. Lola, I really appreciate your time for the tour and whatnot. Joe Parker, I don't even know how were we somewhere. I think we were talking about the big crane, and I said, tell me about that. And that's how this got started. Was that right, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were discussing something and it came up, and I shared my affiliation with that whole project. And you were talking about starting your podcast, and I said, well, let's get this on the podcast. And you said, great idea. I love it. This is what we're looking for. This is what we want to feature, the great things going on in this community, and you want to highlight them. So you found one, and this is one of the great things. And definitely, if anybody's watching this that knows me and wants to reach out to me directly to ask more about this and get plugged in with how they could get involved, please reach out to me directly. My cell phone's everywhere, but I'll go with like Barry, 805-886-5735.
So,
And-
Lifestyles of Santa Barbara is a different podcast. We do it for this type of exposure. We have fun with it, but we let people know the about the good people in our community with the great causes that they are doing. We have some good stuff. Go to lifestyles of santabarbara.com. Take a look at our other podcasts. And it'll give you a little bit of a feel of what we have created, Victoria and I. I was born and raised in Santa Barbara, and I absolutely love to see this type of engagement. So, Barry Schoer, thank you so much. Lola Band, thank you. And Lola Band West, I love the three name. Joe Parker, you're always a great to be with. And we will definitely be in touch. Go check out the sanctuary centers. You'll be impressed. So thank you again for being on the show. We'll send you a copy, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you
guys.
so much. And we love having Joe on the board.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks, Lola. Great to see you both.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Santa Barbara is more than a city, it's a lifestyle. Let's go check it out.
Oh,